Okay. Okay. Everybody's here. Good morning. Good morning. I'm I'm I am still running us on both platforms because I just haven't gotten the recording solution up yet. So we're on borrowed time on Zoom. Remember, if you ever come to Zoom and you're like, why won't this meeting open? You'll be like, oh yeah, no more Zoom. I gotta get my way back over to Discord. Other than that, amazing. May 1st. How are we in May already? The year is flying. Welcome to the Market Watch Group midweek check-in. I am Scott. We had a great chat yesterday for options. Tomorrow night we are starting. I don't know what I'm calling it. May Madness, May Trading Madness. I don't know. It's just gonna be fun. We're gonna do some things that hopefully are more practical application trading education that ties really illustrates some concepts. Um, so I don't even know the agenda yet. I'll get to that here. Disclaimers, as always, be careful out there. Agenda, today's market or today's opening analysis. We'll look at the futures, what we have going on. What area on Discord will I find the meetings on? So if you go into the Market Watch Group server, right? So if you're in the Bull and you see all of our various things, you have a calendar that lists our 11 events at any given time. And then if you go to the voice channels, the Market Watch stage is where all presentations happen. And so you can pop in there pretty quick once you're there. I think once you're forcing yourself in there, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is pretty easy. Mindset for open trades. Yeah, I got nothing bullish. I don't know about you guys. Not in my short-term trading. Right now, if you're thinking an investment account, you might categorize that differently. But yeah, the desire to have a bullish trade has continued to decrease. Waiting for Jerome. There you go. We'll look at our list though, and we'll talk about setups. We'll talk about our trading plan. I posted my what did I post? My mission statement. I posted my mission statement. I don't remember where I posted it. Did I post it into trading plan discussions the way I was supposed to? I can't remember where I put it. Somewhere in there. Did I do an announcement? I don't think I did an announcement. Trading plan discussions? Trading plan discussions. Anyway, we'll find it. We'll find it. Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to talk about the two weaknesses, and I haven't pinpointed exactly how I want to phrase them yet. That's why I haven't posted them. I would have posted them at the same time. I'm not trying to withhold information, I promise. Two weaknesses. What have I identified that I think in this cycle, this is what I want to work on. Trading plan discussion. Okay, nice. Great. Okay, then this week we're really thinking about not not just, hey, write down your rules for your market forecasting. I'm sure you're past that point now. You have it written. You're getting comfortable with it. Really emphasize the implications. All right, let's get in. Let's get into the situation. So yesterday turned kind of nasty, and today seems to be continuing. S&P down 0.22. The Dow is down 0.10. NASDAQ is down 0.36 and the Russell is flat. Oil, it's down almost 2%. That's nice. That's very nice. Gold is up marginally. What do we see in the news? Wall Street is waiting for Powell. Funny. That's what Bob said. I mean, we're all waiting for Powell. Of course we are, right? S&P futures slide with Fed's Powell in the spotlight. AMD and Supermicro's tumble sparks sell-off in chip stocks. Yeah, where did we say, hey, if we're bearish, speculatively, where's it going to be? Likely in technology, and more specifically, likely in the chip sector. So, did anybody take any bearish trades of any kind? Hedges, bear trades, as we've increased focus on that. I'm just curious. What else? Puts, got some puts on SPX. Love it. Love it. Walmart is closing down its healthcare business. Markets aren't excited about Trump. I disagree. I don't think they care. I don't think anything of what's being priced in right now has to do with the election. That's for me. I think it's hilarious how much you can see somebody's politics in the way that they assess market conditions around it. And both sides do it. And it's like, oh, right. I remember when Trump first got elected. Oh, the market's gonna blah. Market went fine, was bullish. Market's been fine, right? And it's just like market doesn't care. The market cares about stability, consistency, certainty. Those things are nice for the market, right? That's what the market likes by way of conditions. So if there's things like, for example, when on January 6th, market dropped pretty precipitously when they started attacking the Capitol. When there was a lawsuit between Bush and Gore, when that was in the courts, the markets did terrible. Was that 2004, I believe? I think that was 2004. That sounds right. Bitcoin plunges. Here's why. Oh, Bitcoin plunging, huh? I think I remember someone I know talking about a little triple top they saw, struggling to regain previous highs, looking, Dow Jones futures. I don't see Musk. What was he? Did I miss it? Yahoo sometimes shows different things to different people in different parts of the country. That's what's funny. Okay. Elon. Okay, tell me what I'm looking for. I'm not seeing. Huh. Musk disbands the charging team? Oh, that's part of who got laid off, huh? Lays off executives. Lays off executive, cuts supercharger division while lobbying for $56 billion salary. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Our news. Nothing west yesterday, or excuse me, nothing Monday. Yesterday we had employment cost index. Nobody really cares. Ooh, look at that. That was a little bit concerning right there for me. That drop there. if you remember, I'm like, yeah, as long as we stay above 100. We didn't. The Chicago Business Barometer had a little drop. Oh, whoops. Weakest level in 17 months. So you're like, wait a second here. Ooh. Now, today, what was I didn't see anything about ADP. What was the ADP number? Anybody see that? And the job opening. Oh, that's not till 10. Never mind. ADP, if anyone can find that, let me know. What is which one? Press? Sorry, I didn't see what you had said. This site that I'm on, Market Watch economic calendar. Sorry, I'm not sure what. Ah. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. ADP job openings, Chicago, the Chicago Business Barometer. Ah, that one you can click on and read about. The private, okay, so they got 184 as expected. The same as last month. 184, expecting 183, got 184. Okay. So that stayed the same. Job openings will come out. Job openings is just telling us at any given time, right? Like how many jobs are available, which at 8.7 million is still significantly more. Like if you go back and you look at like prior to the pandemic, in that bullish time, we had like 3 or 4 million job openings at any given time. It's still double that. Okay. Fed. Nothing for today, obviously. They're gonna keep rates. You can see what we're really hovering at about it's about to enter the 90% mark for the next meeting of not happening. July, we're 3-1 against not happening. And not only that, look what popped up over here. All of a sudden, I mean, it's not like, oh, there's a probability, but people are starting to think, could they even hike it one more time? Right? Could they even hike it one more time? September. And we've now lost even September as probability. We are now 51 to 39 against a cut. So yeah, it's there was a number of people who are like, oh, we're not going to get any cuts at all. And I'm like, you people are crazy. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat my words on that one. It might happen. I don't know if they've priced in a hike yet. We'll see it if they do. They're pricing in that a possibility of a hike is starting to appear, but barely. Um, November 7th is now the first time we have even a hint, barely better than 1-1. And then December. Yeah. We may be here. We may be here for a little while. Which means what? Which means understanding and feeling comfortable putting on some delta neutral strategies that are adaptable. Calendars, butterflies, broken wings, can bear useful fruit for us this summer. I would imagine. We'll see. Early Christmas present, a little rate cut, right? If and when we get the cut, the market's going to love it for sure, obviously. But yeah, tough. Okay. Market's open. Let's go. May brainstorm. I left this doc open so I wouldn't forget, and I would have. So over the past months, we've talked about these various, whatever we call them, working sessions, where we conduct experiments or cover very specific topics. And I had been writing down, like, oh, that would be a great idea for a book. And I had been writing it down, but I never translated my notes digitally. And I couldn't find my notes. And so we started over. We started talking about this a little bit last night. And that is to determine which of these topics. I knew some of them. So we have some here, a full trading plan review where we just kind of talk about a full trading plan and look at what does it look like when it's fleshed out, how much detail, things like that. That's tomorrow. Full trading plan review. If you ever wanted to see that, that's tomorrow. Next week, 2 sessions. We're going to do part 1 and part 2 on the trading experiment. Random stocks, random signals. It's going to be a multi-day, so 2 parts at least with ongoing follow-ups. We are going to do a 100 trade spreadsheet assessment where we look at 100 trades in a spreadsheet and say, oh, okay, now that I have this, what can I learn from it? What would this inform me of? What should highlight? What should stand out? Things like that. Those are the first 4. We have 9 Tuesdays/Thursdays in the month of May. If you remember any of the topics, here's a couple that we just were like, throwing some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. This is our backlog of potentials. And we're going to just sort of build this out to give us extra sessions, right? Where those things that are hard to fit into our normal routine. If you can remember any of them, tell me. If you can think of anything, tell me. That's the ask. Okay, here you go. You can see our market opened. All right, we're flat. We're only down a little bit, 0.06. We definitely seem to have rolled over yesterday, right? You can see that we rolled over and we did it. Ooh, is this going to count for volume? 72,825,000. Okay, so 72,825,000 times 1.05. 76,466,000. That's the threshold it needs to be for us to consider it an above average volume day. Remember, anything above 5% is what we have established as a hard and fast rule. 76, we'll call it 76.5 just to remember. Yesterday's volume was 77.5. So that's another knock already. Although our volume score is already a minus 0.75. That extra knock isn't like, oh, that's it. Now it's a -1. Probably going to stay at minus 0.75. You know how reluctant I am to take a score to the highest or the lowest point. If I put it at a -1, what happens if I get 3 more negative selling days? I can't reflect that now. Once I put it to -1, I'm like, that's as bad as it gets. And I'm telling you what, 1 more -1 day is not as bad as it gets. So we'll leave it. Despite the fact that it is but it is making it harder for it to not be a minus 0.75. It's not going to get worse. It's just going to ensure that we stay at that score a little bit longer. Minus 10 is the bottom. I've never been anywhere near a minus 10. I'm trying to think. The highest I've gotten is maybe a 7 point something. 7.5. I'd have to go back and look. The worst is maybe like a minus 6. I can't remember. And maybe if I had scored it in different conditions, there'd be other times where it would be different. It would be worse. But yeah. Okay. All right. How's everything else look? So as far as the short term, today's Wednesday, so you can kind of see like, yeah, we meandered a little higher last week, didn't do anything. Now here, if you look, this is a lower high at this point. That's a lower high. What does that mean? It means I am going to drop. We're at a 1. That lower high is telling me to take it down to a minus 0.75 as of now. Right now, if this thing like stabilizes and reverses, maybe I'd take it away and be like, oh, never mind. Look at that. We had a lower high followed by a higher low. So I'm going to just leave that as is. It's Wednesday. That's what it's moving towards, especially if this breaks further down. In fact, if it turns into a sell-off, we might drop it by 0.5 point because that's a lower high. And if we break down through this, that's a lower low. That could be a minus 0.5. Okay. We don't even need to look at the long term. We know that's not going to change. Let's go to look at the VIX. Not a higher low. You can see that, I mean, it was technically higher than this lowest point, but these bodies were actually lower than these bodies. And so I'm not calling that a higher low. So two things right now. Number one, and this is where the VIX can be so interesting, I think. Yeah, I bought puts. It wasn't a hedge because I'm not in bullish. It was speculative. Like, hey, this thing could definitely accelerate. However, it also looks like it could give me like a what? Head and shoulders? There's the other shoulder. Remember, for us, that's a lower high. That's a de-escalation. If I saw that, I'd be like, oh, my, and remember that I said I'm still overall positive on my score. I'm still absolutely willing to trade bullishly. I'm willing to, the door is opened bearishly. So now everything's on the table. I'm looking for more neutral things because I'm thinking, hey, but when am I going to want to put bullish trades on? When I think that the market's getting a bullish bounce, when the VIX is at a lower high. When do I want to put bearish trades on? When I think the market's stalling out and the VIX is at a higher low or any low if it's speculative. Does that make sense? I don't know. Is that so? Right now, the bigger concern is the escalation because I can't just assume it's going to bounce at 17. If Powell says something that the market doesn't like, this thing could very easily do this by the end of today. And then the next day we could do this and then boom, right? You can see 2 days can take you. That one went from 15 to 19 and a half. So 16 to 20 and a half. So maybe not quite as much as I drew, but pretty close. If we got just that same type of escalation back there, and where are we? We're in an escalation zone. So yeah, caution. Caution. If you're gonna speculate, be ready to speculate. Okay. Did we look at everything? I think we did. Let's look at our watch list. Let's see how everything is doing today. So here's a question. Has anything on um has anything on in the market or in what the market has done surprised you? Have you been caught off guard? And if you've been caught off guard, by what? That's it. Right? Or do you feel like, yeah, you know what? We've kind of had our wagons circled to some extent already. We were already like, yeah, this thing's sniffing a little funny. Let's dial in. Oh, good. Love it. Love it. Okay. All right. Let's see the watch list. I lost it. Now I'm going to get it back. Any thoughts from anyone on May working sessions? Apple. Oh, okay. So that's the other thing. It's like Fed today, tomorrow afternoon, Apple reports earnings. And it's not just Apple, we got a lot coming out. AIG reports earnings, and they're kind of hovering. Financials have maintained some strength. AMD. AMD is down. Amazon. Uh, so Amazon gapped up from their earnings. They actually did well. It's a funny looking chart. You're like, wait, where were their earnings? Back here? You're like, no. No, back there they just gapped down and then recovered for some reason. The earnings are over here. And it was like selling off yesterday, then it gapped back up today, and it's just kind of sitting there. Yeah, that one's that one looks interesting. AXP. AXP looks great, I think. Higher high, nice soft consolidation. I'm very interested in AXP as a bullish, potentially bullish trade. Boeing still is a dog. Bank of America. Add Bank of America to AXP. Looks strong to me. Financial still holding up. Citi looks pretty strong. Caterpillar looks like a dog. Gap down. Just bounced off the 50. That's putting some stress on industrials. Okay, be a little bit more concerned. Things that are doing this now, does this mean that they're bearish? No, it means that they're likely to be in a consolidation. Right? So a bigger pullback. It could just be one, or it could pull back, stabilize, bounce a little bit, pull back a second time. Meanwhile, this is coming up and then it retests there. And okay. Right? There you go. Where was I? The Chipotle looks very strong. It's hard to trade. We've talked about it, the options. We're getting closer though. We're only about 6 weeks away from the split. And then we'll see how many people try to, catch this thing. Capital One, add it to the list of the financials. All of them looking strong. All of them that we have looking strong. ConocoPhillips. What did I tell you? I actually really jacked my stop up tight. And I ended up, when did I get picked off? Maybe it was just yesterday. And I had sold half. It was a time spread. It did okay. And then done. No loss. Now what? Now we've got a lower low on oil. Great. Great. We would love to see oil break back below the 50. We'll see what happens. And I know that's not oil, that's ConocoPhillips. I just kind of use that as a broad representation. Let's take a look at oil. You can see very similar, right? That's why. And you can see here, oil did break the 50. Test. It hasn't broken it. There's no volume yet. And we haven't gotten to the end of the day yet. Costco is flat. Missed the target barely. Yeah. I get it. Delta looks bullish, but I'm not on consumer, so iffy. I mean, that's at resistance anyways. The Dow's kind of under the 50-day. I just don't see defensiveness in the Dow, though, so that's interesting. GBTC. Bitcoin. Now it's not like going in a huge sell-off, but you can see that ever since it broke here this first time, we're like, hey, it's broken down. It broke it confirmed the triple top. And then it came up here and it made a lower high. And now where is it? Down here. So it is definitely another 10% from here to here. Yeah, okay. I like GE though, you know that. GE Aerospace, not GE, GE Aerospace. The jinx has been lifted. Uh-huh. Gold looks bullish, but starting to pull back a little bit like oil. So we're seeing a little bit of a regression in the materials. Google, great earnings, but yeah, it's couldn't hold on. It's giving it back now, but we'll watch and see how the dust settles on that one. Small caps are iffy, but I got to tell you, small caps and large caps look identical. I look at the Dow and I look at the Russell and I think they look about the same. Obviously not volatility wise, but where they are right now. Meta is down. It's struggling. I'd love to see it recover, but there's not much for me from expectations from this right now. Microsoft, same thing. Under the 50, struggling, sputtering. We got to just kind of watch and wait, give it a little bit of time and expect that this is what May and June very, very well may look like for us. Micron is rolling over. You can see the stochastics is rolling over. It's barely hanging on to the 50. It's not looking good. Netflix is down, sputtering. Nvidia trying to hold on to the 50, but struggling. Picard from industrials, you can see this is representative of some increased weakness in that sector that is pulling it out of the leadership position. If you look at our sector rotation score, it's really fallen far and fast. We're down to a 0 there. Our first negative was volume, and it looks like our second negative is likely to be sector if we get another one. The others are holding up to some extent, right? Major market is held up. The trend's still okay, although we know that short-term trend scoring is designed to hold its bullish score and not overreact to the downside due to, just general market conditions. QQQ. That's the third one. Everything's under the 50 right now. The S&P by the least. We're down 0.25%. Waiting to see what Jerome has to say. TSM, I mean, look at that. We sold off hard, got under the 50. We've recovered to where? With what kind of strength? We had one day, you're like, oh, look, that's an above average volume day. But is it though? Because what did it do? It gapped down and then it recovered basically to the previous day's starting point. The next day we got a little higher with half volume. I don't know. I think something like Taiwan Semiconductor looks like it's ready to roll over, and it's having a very hard time justifying its price at 140, 130. People are feeling that drawback down to 100, 110 maybe. Here's the VIX. The VIX is up, but not a lot, just kind of marginally right now. This is concerning, but us forward thinkers, us trading chess players who are thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead are like, well, it is, but because, and remember, we're cutting this off. We don't see this. We only see to 19.5, right? But even here, this was still a very big drop, which means that if we go back up and we only get here, lower high, and we look at lower highs very bullishly. We're like, oh, hey, okay. So I do still think to myself, I think there still could be a bullish window coming. We'll see what it looks like. Waste management. Ooh, it's very sideways now, and it's like just sitting right on top of that 50. Here's Walmart. Very similar, very sideways. A lot of that sputtering going on, right? Basic materials. Communication services has dropped under the 50. Energy pulling back. We like that. Financials still holding on to the 50. So is industrials, both barely though. No technology. Staples. Now this is where we didn't see defensiveness with the Dow, but I do see defensiveness with the staples and the utilities. Give me your thoughts. Staples had a big surge back up and has a little minor cup and handle pattern forming here. If this completes or looks like it's going to, I'm certainly going to look for something along those lines. And we also have utilities. Even more of a surge. Same thing on this pullback. If based on what we're seeing here, that might be where we're saying, hey, I'm willing to take more bearish trades. I'm also willing to take a bullish defensive trade potentially. Last two, healthcare and consumer discretionary. Consumer discretionary made a little bit of a recovery pop. That was surprising, but still feels more iffy than not. More iffy than not. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Last things last. This document is open. Any ideas you have, put them on Discord. If I remember any, I'll post them and be like, was this one of them? We'll figure it out. But we do have at least our short-term plan. So we'll have a topic for tomorrow. So make sure you join me tomorrow if you want to look at a trading plan review. Speaking of trading plans. Speaking of trading plans. As we look at market forecasting this week, I'm thinking you guys are probably pretty good with the defined aspects and the scheduling aspects. What I'm thinking we should really be working on is oh, am I missing something on my spreadsheet here? Oh, there we go. I was like, what the hell? There we go. Nope. Okay. Implications. At any given time, are you correlating your market posture directly into implications? Oh, I'm not posting my plan. Is that what you mean? I'm just posting bits and pieces. Yeah. I'm very reluctant to post. Oh, you did not see that. That is in trading plan discussions. Dun, dun, dun. Here is, I don't know why it went into this funky formatting, but this is my trading mission statement under trading plan discussions chat. Okay, so, however, yeah, we're still, so like the market watch chat has just been where we've always gone, but I think we're going to start migrating into more segmented discussions. Trading discussions, options discussions, trading plan discussions. That way we can keep the threads clean. I hope that makes sense. You didn't see that. Good. Okay. Oh, yours formatted well? Okay. Yeah, weird. Oh, you don't see it. Under trading plan discussions, you don't see my post? Well, that is odd. Under text channels, not trading discussions, trading plan discussions. Two more down. Trading plan discussions. I mean, it's subtle, but slightly different. You don't have that channel. Huh. Well, now that's interesting. Well, let's troubleshoot that for a second as a group. Why would you not have a channel? Browse channels. So if you go up here to browse channels up by the, let me move this out of the way. Under events, if you go to browse channels, do you have all of them checked? Do they show up there? Because this should show up in your, you should see these three trading plan discussions. And then maybe you need to check it to make sure. Did not have the view checked. All right. Boom. Look at us solving problems. Solving problems. Yeah, think about your implications. Trading plan discussions, that's where we're going to be putting, that's where I'm going to go. to put my stuff. I hope you'll join me in that regard. Today, I'll make sure to start this because I think I have to, but today, last hour, if anyone is going to get together, I won't be able to participate, but there is an event scheduled for a closing hour chat. Should be especially interesting with the market. So if anyone wants to join there, you certainly can. That's going to be in Market Watch meetups. All right. Well, listen, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow night, there will be no Zoom. Tuesdays and Thursdays will have no Zoom any longer. If you want to join, make sure you come in through Discord. I will have a different recording mechanism set up, and we will move away into that regard. So, so when new things are added, need to have a note to remind all of us to check them. So you actually, when things are posted, you should go check your notifications. Check your notification settings because you should be able to like have so that when somebody posts, if I post something that notifies you, it's like, ring, Scott posted. And you're like, oh, hey, thanks. Anyway, we'll keep going. I'll maybe go through something with notifications to make sure everyone has their settings appropriate. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. As always, happy trading.